Good news can often get overlooked or buried by the negative in our everyday lives. So let's change that. I'm Adriana.
And I'm Wyatt.
We're just two ordinary people without any special qualifications or anything, trying to navigate life. We invite you to join us as we share wholesome stories, news articles of hope, and ideas about how we can all make the world just a little bit brighter. We are Uplifting Positive Stories. Welcome back to another episode of Uplifting Positive Stories. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you all for showing up today.
Yes, our episode is all about showing up. It's all about being there for people, supporting them. They're supporting their passions, supporting them when they need it, when maybe life is being tough, all those things. So we got some great stories. We're just gonna dive right in because there's quite a few and they're quite lengthy. So we're gonna get right to it.
If we're talking about showing up, I want to preemptively recording this almost 2 months ago now. Thank you to anyone that has in our personal lives that has shown up for us in postpartum, because we at this point should have had our baby for several weeks now.
Well, we already had a friend reach out. Again, this was probably 2 months ago since this was recorded at this point. But we had a friend bring us some freezer meals and stuff like that for postpartum, which was super, super sweet. So yeah, it's awesome when people show up for other people, and it's just so nice. So anyways, we'll move right into our first story here. This first one comes from BOR Updates, so Best of Redditor Updates.
You know it, you love it.
Yeah. It's titled, I am currently misleading my girlfriend, and it was posted on Off My Chest originally.
Whoa.
So a confession.
Lying is not great.
But when it's a surprise.
But
surprises are sometimes
there can
pretty fun.
be exceptions.
All right, here we go. She is an actress and will be in a show in a few months that she'd really like for me to see. I, however, am moving away soon for college and will be a long flight from home. Right now, whenever we talk about it, I say the same things. I wish I could. Maybe someone could take videos. Flights are just too expensive. What she doesn't know is I absolutely will be there. I am booking a flight so I can see it and surprise her on opening night. It feels like I'm keeping a huge secret from her now, but I can't wait to see the look on her face as she runs into my arms when she wasn't expecting me to see the show. I love her so much. So here's the update. 2 months later.
I guess I don't know the context of their conversations. Hopefully she's not hasn't been super hurt that he won't be there.
I mean, I feel like it's understanding flights being really expensive. I feel like anyone I feel like would be pretty understanding of that, because it's taking time to do that kind of a trip,
right? We don't know what their financial situation is, what stage of their. He's going away for college, right?
Yeah, they're in college.
So probably doesn't have a lot of
That's
money.
pretty understandable.
Yeah, we didn't back then.
Here we go.
Still don't always.
A couple of months back, I made a post about how I planned to surprise my actress girlfriend. Well, tonight was her opening night. I never mentioned in the original post, but she is playing Juliet in Romeo and Juliet. And lots of people wanted an update, so here it goes. First of all, she did know I would be flying home this weekend. A lot has happened since I made the original post, and there was a point where she needed to know that she had my support. So I told her that I'd been planning to surprise her, but that I really could make it to the show. We've been looking forward to seeing each other since then. I did keep some element of surprise, though, especially since that in that conversation she said that she would have thought the surprise was sweet. I told her that because of my class schedule, I wouldn't get to leave until Friday night and could see her on Saturday. But I booked the tickets for Wednesday night so that I could see her on Thursday, her opening night.
Oh.
She had absolutely no idea.
Okay, now we're cooking.
Yeah, and I had nervous and excited butterflies all of yesterday and today. I really didn't want her to see me until after the show, and I didn't want word to spread to her that I was there. So I disguised myself with a baseball cap, glasses, and a mask. I got my tickets quickly and I went to my seat. The show was amazing. She filled her role so well and put on the best performance I've ever seen from her. Lots of her co-stars were on point, and overall, it was just a lovely production. Once it was over, I took off the disguise and I stood in the lobby with a huge bouquet of flowers waiting for her to notice me. It took a while, but when she finally did, it felt unreal. She was in such a happy and giggly mood. She couldn't stop moving around and making jokes like she was excited, and flustered as heck in a very endearing way. I gave her the flowers and the tightest hug I could, along with all my congratulations. It might have been the cutest I've ever seen her in my entire life. She did break the news to me later that someone had recognized me at intermission, though, and word had gotten backstage that I was there. I know that made her nervous.
Traitors.
Yeah, I know that made her nervous, and I didn't get to see the look on her face that I was waiting months for. But her performance didn't miss a beat, and she reenacted the look for me later.
Well, she's an actress. So.
Yes, exactly. We spent a lot of time together after the show, time that she wasn't expecting to get until later this weekend. But we were beyond happy to have tonight. We waited until everyone else left, then danced to some of our favorite love songs in the freezing cold parking lot. I love her with my entire heart and soul. I am so happy I did it. It was very well received and made for what was by far the sweetest and most romantic night of my life so far. Yeah.
Made only slightly less sweet to take the time to write this Reddit post immediately afterwards, because it's the same night, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I thought I said at the beginning of it.
Maybe.
Like tonight was when they did it.
It's very possible.
That's what I thought.
Very possible.
I was like, hold on, I gotta go write something.
You're
quick.
right. It does say, well, tonight was your opening night.
Tonight was.
Hang on, I gotta update.
This. Wow, this is the most perfect night. I gotta go write on Reddit. Be right back. My fans are waiting.
But that is really, really
I am
sweet.
joking.
It's always super sweet when people surprise people
Yeah.
for that kind of stuff. I used to see a lot of that kind of stuff happen when I would be in shows and high school and college, seeing people surprise others and come to their show and bring flowers and stuff. And that always made me like, oh. And it was a cool idea, too. Our drama department, I thought this was so cool in high school. They had this thing called Kudos where people could, for $1, get like this like little sign that they put up on a wall where they could write little things, notes for the cast members. It's a little kudos to them and stuff like that. And then all the money that they raised went towards like a little cast party afterwards for everyone in the show. It was super, super sweet. It was super cool. And I don't know, people supporting, people showing up and writing kudos for all the cast members. And as cast members, we'd write kudos, buy kudos, and write kudos for each other too. And it was just really, really fun and really wholesome, really cool. So it's neat, especially like in an ensemble cast like that. It's cool to have people showing up for each other.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Very, very cool. All right, on to our next story. This one's a bit of a tearjerker, just forewarning. This one comes from the subreddit I am a, which is all about like, I'm an astronaut or I am a doctor, ask me anything kind of thing. So that's what the whole premise of this thread is.
Okay.
So this one, the person wrote, I was Goofy at Walt Disney World for over 20 years. Ask me anything. This post is not for those who wish to preserve the Disney magic. Yeah.
Character Goofy.
Yeah.
I was thinking like they were just acting.
The actor.
No, like they were just acting.
Oh,
goofy.
acting goofy at Disney
like
World.
acting silly. Like,
I was so
my
silly
brain
at
didn't
Disney.
even think jump to the character. They were just like, oh, they're just being weirdos at Disney.
Ask
like,
me anything.
Like, oh wait, they're literally playing the character.
That's
Goofy.
funny.
That makes sense.
Yes, there we go.
Going to bed now.
But yeah, so they worked at Disney World. It says, I worked at Disney World for over 25 years.
It's a long time.
I was a bandit, a gangster, and a tour guide at the Great Movie Ride. I sold merchandise in a few stores. I worked in guest services at the Polynesian Resort. Couldn't find any pictures.
So this must have been a number of years ago then, because
Oh, yeah.
the Great Movie Ride hasn't been there for.
Well, if they
a
worked
long
there
time,
25
right?
years, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it went away probably around like 2008-ish. I could be wrong.
I haven't seen it there, so definitely been a long time.
Yeah, I went on as a kid. They worked guest relations as a tour guide, but in 1996, I transferred to the character department and I never looked back. I know you guys are big on proofs. Look at this, then look at this, and they have like a bunch of links. Here's some mega proof. Another link. Just for fun, here's a pic of me teaching the official Disney Princess wave and playing before a parade. Me in the Mickey Mania parade, and here's me in the airport bringing in a plane for a press event. I'll answer any questions you have unless they get too personal or weird. I know Reddit, so go ahead. Ask me anything. So somebody had asked them, what is the best moment that they ever experienced working as Goofy? Or working in Disney World. And this is what they wrote. I have one moment that stands out above all the rest. I was waiting for someone to ask me this question. It's the reason I left a good job as a VIP tour guide and moved to the character department. I was working City Hall one day when two guests came in with two little girls. One was in a wheelchair, and the other one looked like she had just seen death. Both were cut and bruised, and the one in the wheelchair had her arm in a cast. The two women were actually nurses from a hospital and were asking for a refund on the girls' tickets, something we avoided doing at all costs. When I asked why, they told me the story. The two girls were with their mom and dad at Epcot, and on the way home they got into a horrible car accident. Both the parents passed away in the car accident.
Oh, geez.
They were from overseas and had no money and no contact information for anyone they knew. They were bringing the tickets back to get the girls some much-needed money to help them get back home. My heart absolutely sunk. If you'd seen these girls, you'd know why. They were truly traumatized. I refunded their tickets and I got permission to be their private tour guide for the rest of the day, which they were not expecting. I walked them to the VIP viewing area for the parade, which was as far as I could walk them in the costume we used to wear at City Hall. I had to leave them there while I put on my VIP costume. On the way down, I pulled out every kid joke that I could think of. I was a really good tour guide. I helped write part of it, and I knew how to make kids smile. Nothing worked. These girls were too far gone for that. I left them at the bridge to go change, walked backstage, and I bawled my eyes out. I just had never seen something so horrible. I was truly affected, and it was a terrible feeling of powerlessness, not being able to fix the situation. When I came back, I brought them to get ice cream, take them on rides and stuff, but they never smiled, not once. The nurses were loving it and were trying to get them into it, but it just wasn't working. We went back to the bridge to watch the parade. It was there that I honestly saw true magic. Real magic. I had called the parade department to let them know what was going on, and I set up a private meet and greet after the parade. As the parade was coming around Liberty Square, I told the girls that I had called Mickey and told him all about them. I told them that Mickey had asked to meet them after the parade. The little girl in the wheelchair smiled. "Really?" she asked. My heart skipped. "Yes, really. He told me to tell you to look out for him in the parade and to follow the float back to City Hall." The other girl smiled. "You mean right now?" she asked. It had worked. They were talking. Not laughing, but talking. It was the first time I'd heard them speak. Every single parade performer came up to them on the bridge and told them to look out for Mickey. Every one of them told them that. When Mickey's float came up, Mickey, who was attached to a pole at the top of the float, managed to turn her body sideways, look down at the girls, and point towards Main Street. That was all it took. The girls were excited now. They had forgotten about death. They were lost in a magical world, and I couldn't believe that I was watching it unfold in front of my eyes. We followed that float all the way back to City Hall, singing Mickey Mania the whole way. Back then, City Hall used to have a VIP lounge behind the desk that was for privacy during difficult situations or to host celebrities. I took them in and I showed them the book where all the autographs were. They were eating it up. The girl who was Mickey that day got down off her float and without even taking her head off, walked up to me backstage and said, "Let's go." I walked in with Mickey behind me so I got to see the exact moment the girls met their new friend. They got shy, but Mickey was in control now. Those girls met the real Mickey Mouse that day. Every single parade character stayed dressed to meet those girls, and one by one they'd come in and play a bit and then leave. We were in that lounge for over an hour. Mickey stayed in costume the entire time, which is hard to do after a parade. And when Mickey finally said goodbye, I had two excited girls on my hands that couldn't stop smiling. They talked and talked and talked. We had a wonderful day after that. But what I remember most is when we walked by the rose garden, the older one said, "Oh, my mommy loves roses. And she stopped. I held up my hand and I walked her to the gate, picked her up and put her on the other side and said, "Let's pick one." She looked happy as she picked out her favorite rose. She didn't say anything more, and she didn't need to. I said goodbye to the wonderful nurses and the wonderful girls, then walked backstage behind the train station. This time I didn't cry. It felt so good to be a part of that. I realized that as much as I like helping guests at City Hall, the true magic of Disney was in the character department. I auditioned, transferred, and never looked back. Thanks for letting me relive this. It was a special day for me.
I apologize for the emotional turmoil that
I know, it's so sad, but it's also so sweet that
mm-hmm.
they all did that. I mean, I just picture these two girls, in this room, and one by one, all the characters from the parade coming in and playing with them and giving them little times with Daisy and Donald and all these things. And I mean, these girls, they think it's really them. They're getting to meet the real characters. That's so sweet.
Yeah, God, that's rough, especially as we're expecting a kid right now and thinking about something like that would ever happen to us. I'd hope that our kids are cared for in that kind of a way, in the immediate aftermath. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like thinking about that, but I
know, but to be treated with the fact that all these characters showed up and all these people at Disney showed up to give these kids a happy memory to it, because it happened on that trip. That's gonna scar that memory of that trip forever. But then to also have that amazing memory with all those characters too, to also have on that trip. I don't know. I just, yeah, very, very amazing that these people took the time to do that for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, seeing people show up for people when they have a really, really hard thing happen like that.
I apologize if you hear that shake. Legolas decided to shake out his collar just now. Appropriate timing there, bud.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, moving on to another
Yeah,
story.
I don't want to
that
add too much to that,
heavy
just
one.
because let's
Woo.
just let that one sink in. That one's
But it's really, really,
a
really,
doozy.
yeah, heartwarming though too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on to another one from BORU Updates. This one was originally posted in Relationship Advice, and it's titled, My 18 male stepmother, 39 female, wrote a letter to my 18-year-old self when she married my father, 43 male. How do I even begin to thank her? Here we go. My mother is not my biological mother, but I will be referring to her as my mother in this post because that's what she is to me. My biological mother passed away giving birth to me, and I was raised solely by my father for the first 3 years of my life until he met my mother. I won't be talking much about my father in this post. My father is amazing in every way, but this is about my mom. They got married months after my 6th birthday, and they have had 4 more kids. My mother always treated me like her own, and never let me feel like an outsider or like a half-sibling. I was always her son and big brother to all my siblings. Yesterday, I had my 18th birthday, and I spent the afternoon with my family and went to a party with my friends in the evening. When I got back home, everyone was already asleep, and there was an envelope on my pillow. I opened it, and it was a letter that my mother had written addressed to my 18-year-old self the day before she married my father. 12 years ago, she wrote that letter telling me that she would never dishonor my biological mother's memory, but would try her best to be a mother figure to me. She promised to kiss my forehead every morning before I got on the school bus. She promised to always encourage my interests and would try her hardest to come to every practice and game of mine. She promised to never differentiate between me and any potential future siblings in any way, and many more beautiful promises. She ended it by saying, "You're an 18-year-old now, an adult, and are hopefully heading to college soon, and you no longer have any formal reason to maintain a relationship with me. But I truly hope that in these last 12 years, I was able to be a loving mother and fulfill all my promises to you, and I can only hope that you'll continue to give me the privilege of being your mom because you always will be my son. I love you." And had a picture my father took of her and my 3-year-old self at the zoo. Like my father, I'm a stoic, but in tune with my emotions kind of person. This letter had me crying, and I have not been able to stop reading it again and again, and it's currently 4 a.m. as I type this. My mother fulfilled every promise she made 12 years ago, and I genuinely can't imagine life without her. She opened her arms and heart to a boy who she had zero biological responsibility toward, and has been the most loving and supporting mother I could have possibly asked for. How do I even begin to thank her for everything she did for me? What's something big or small that I could do to show how grateful I am?
Oh, why are you doing this to me?
I know.
Why do we have 2
I'm
stories?
like getting emotional.
What? I mean, we're on the cusp of, as we're recording this, having a child. Why
I
are
know.
you priming these kinds of stories for
But
us
they're
right
so
now?
sweet, though.
No wonder you've been crying lately. I thought it was just pregnancy.
I mean, it's that too. But man, yeah, these stories are, whoo, I'm getting emotional over here. But they're really sweet. Oh my
you
goodness.
Need to if you're listening, I need to pause to like get a tissue or like just do a big
Yeah,
sigh.
I apologize
drink
for
some
all the
water.
tearjerker stories today. They're so cute, but man.
In their heart, I mean, they're wholesome. But,
They're wholesome.
oh my gosh, why?
I know.
It's good thing we're maybe recording this before we have the kids.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, let's go right into the update. It's cute too. All right. Holy cow. I didn't expect this to blow up. Thank you for all the kind words about my mom. When I woke up, I read some of the comments and I went straight to my mom and I told her everything I wrote in the post, and I honestly couldn't keep it together and I cried a little bit. I told her that no matter what, she was my mom and I loved her. I told her how much I appreciated her for all of her love and support and that I was proud to be her son. She also cried a lot, and she just told me that she loved me and she's very happy to have me around for a couple of extra months. I should be starting college in a few weeks. But I'm committed to a college for football and will be enrolling in January instead and just taking community college classes and training right now. I'm planning to take her to the zoo and recreate the zoo photo, and I want to give her some kind of jewelry. I haven't figured out the jewelry part exactly, but I will eventually. For now, I just want to cherish these last couple of months before college and help my mom around the house however I can. Also, letters to our future selves is something I can get behind, like a letter I write now and give to my mom before I get married or something would be nice. By the way, yes, she already legally adopted me on my 10th birthday, and I've been calling her mom or mama for as long as I can remember for those who were asking. Very cool story. I don't even think I have much to comment on.
No,
Like,
I
it's
think it
just
speaks for itself.
speaks for itself. It's really, really sweet and just cool to see that this woman stepped up, showed up for this boy, and like, I think it's cool that she like was like, I'm never gonna dishonor your mom's memory. But I am gonna promise these like things to you that I want to be. I want to be as much of a mom as I can to you in these ways, and like making those promises that long ago. And like, I just think that's really, really amazing. Because what a complicated situation to enter into. And we've had other stories like that too, where like there was a loss of a parent, and like seeing someone like step in with that much grace and love for the kid, and like that's just really, really cool. So yeah, all right, on to our news article today. So this one comes from the site cbc.ca, and it is titled "Feeling Lonely? Stop by a grandma stand for a heartfelt chat." So
a stand of grandmas, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Oh gosh.
So this grandma stand is in downtown McKinney, Texas. A 71-year-old named Nancy McClendon is asked to sit outside the middle of the town square and dispense wisdom to complete strangers. So, and there's a ton of other grandmas that do this. They have bright purple lemonade-style stand that they stand behind, and people can either unload their problems, ask questions, or just have a little chit-chat with these grandmas. They're volunteers, all of the grandmas that do this, in different states now. So it's not just in Texas. That's just where this one is that they're talking with. But they're all over, apparently, including in New York City. And it started, I believe, this is kind of a sweet story. So there's a guy named Mike Matthews that started it, the founder of Grandma Stands. He was working in New York City, and one of his colleagues walked into his office and closed the door, and he told him that she told him that she'd just broken up with her boyfriend of 5 years, and started talking about that with Mike Matthews. And Mike Matthews was like, "Hey, you know what? Here's my grandma's number. She lives in Washington, but she's great. She's full of empathy, and you can ask her questions, and she might be a nice person to talk to during this time." The coworker responded with, "That's the weirdest thing that anyone's ever said to me."
Call your
Call
grandma.
my grandma. But she did. She called her. And they became an instant connection and started talking at least every week. Because that work went so well and his grandmother lifted his colleague's spirits so much, that's when he bought a lemonade stand and set it up in New York City with a sign that read, "Talk to my 95-year-old grandma." And for years afterward, people would stop by and chat with her through a video connection on his laptop. And that was how it started. He says that that his grandma during those years talked to at least 1,000 people at this stand that came up and wanted to talk. Unfortunately, his grandma died at the age of 102 in 2018, so he decided to keep this grandma stand going in her honor because it was so successful and so many people wanted to talk with his grandma. And yeah, he said lots of people ask lots of questions. People ask about deep things to these grandmas to be able to discuss them. And wanting parenting advice, a woman was struggling with fertility issues, and a newlywed couple had anxiety about their future together. So there's been all sorts of topics that have come across these grandma stands. But yeah, they said that it just feels nice to have somebody listen and give their thoughts and help in what they can. So it's been very, very successful, and it helps people to feel less lonely.
I'm going to propose an alternative title for this episode: Death, but Wholesome.
What? No!
There's just so much death in these stories, but they're also so wholesome.
She lived all the way to
stories.
102. And she helped over 1,000 people.
I know, that's
through
crazy.
A Zoom call, it sounds like, on a lemonade stand. Like, that's incredible. What a legacy. That's amazing.
Even the first story had Romeo and Juliet, which has death in it.
Oh my goodness. But it's just, yeah, such a wholesome idea. Super cool that, I mean, I to be honest, like, I wouldn't think that people would, like, take up that offer to be, like,
yeah, no.
So it's really cool to hear that, like, over 1,000 people did.
Well, even that initial one, like that is, like, the weirdest thing to ever
call
be
my
told.
Grandma.
Like, I'm going through a rough time with my boyfriend. Like, hey, call my grandma. She's empathetic. Like,
she's really good at listening.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, right, exactly. But it worked out, and then the fact that it turned into this huge movement where all of these grandmas stand behind lemonade stands and just listen to people and give advice, like, that's incredible. That's super cool. I feel like we've had other stories kind of similar to this where there's other, like, people on benches or something like that.
There were some grandma communities or whatever.
Yeah. So there's other things like this too, but it's always cool to hear examples of this because I think we're living in an age where like we're more connected than ever before with social media and stuff like that, but also people are have a harder time with like connecting in person and being able to like talk with others in person. So it's cool to see this and like helping people to feel less lonely out there.
Yeah.
Because you never know if people have people in their lives to be able to talk about these problems with, or if they just feel alone and don't know where to turn, you know? So very cool that something like this exists. So anyways, with that, we will end today's podcast episode. Tune in a couple weeks here. It's gonna be a lot more of a like less heavy episode because it's our April Fool's episode and Easter episode.
JK, no one died.
No. But there's some fun little pranks that were very sweet and like just very got some humor in there as well. And then we have some really wholesome Easter episodes because it is around that time. So it's gonna be a really fun episode, I think. So be sure to tune in for that. And if you have any wholesome stories that you'd like us to share on this podcast, we'd love to share them. Please send them to us at upliftingpositivestories@gmail.com.
And if you're watching YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button or leave a comment.
That'd be awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody, and we hope you have a great rest of your week.
And stay positive.